down by Syrian anti-aircraft fire, and there was a big dispute between the Syrian government and the Turks over which airspace it was in. The fact of the matter now is you have a NATO power, a NATO military power, that is now claiming responsibility for effectively shooting down a Russian warplane. This is a scenario that everybody has been worried about ever since Russia intervened militarily right now. I can predict, based on Turkish patterns in the past, particularly in Syria, that they will try to convene an emergency meeting with NATO, invoking the article that says that, a threat to one NATO country is a threat to all, and that they'll try to internationalize this very quickly.
Oh, and at the same time as President Hollande is leaving here, Paris, to meet President Obama, trying to create a coalition between the US-led coalition in Syria and the Russians. So that's making things incredibly complicated.
I mean, it is still very, very early. We've just gotten reports that this has happened. But yes, absolutely, this is probably going to complicate French efforts to try to unite people.
Which is hard enough.
Difficult enough. You have Moscow and Washington very divergent views on how to deal with this awful Syrian conflict. And now you have this escalation. A U.S. An ally, a military ally, not only of the U.S., but of the French, a Western military ally now, and this Russian plane shot down. Now, we've seen amateur pictures, it appears, of a parachute deploying. Mm-hmm. We know that in other cases where warplanes, helicopters have been shot down over Syria, in some cases, the air crew, have survived and have subsequently been taken captive. Here's a question. Will this Russian pilot now have been captured by rebels who very much view the Russians to be very close military allies of Bashar al-Assad? How would that person be treated if they land alive? Okay. It's going to be a very big question now.
We'll let you get more reporting on that, Ivan. Thank you very much indeed. Meanwhile, here in Europe, Belgium's capital, Brussels, is still in a state of virtual lockdown. Subways, shopping malls and schools are closed until at least Wednesday, with the city at its very highest terror alert level. Here in Paris, experts are analysing an object found in a garbage can in a suburb of Montrouge. It's suspected to be a suicide vest like those used in the terror attacks 11 days ago here in Paris. Now, French media are reporting that the cell phone of suspect Salah Abdeslam, who's still on the run, by the way, was tracked to the area soon after the attacks. The United States has also issued a worldwide travel alert for Americans. The State Department warns that groups like ISIS, Al-Qaeda and Boko Haram continue to plan terrorist attacks in multiple regions. The alert does not tell Americans to avoid travel, but to be vigilant if they do, and to avoid any congested areas. And that's the advice to people in Belgium and France as well. Now, the US President